A very good evening to you all. Thank you for watching UBC Television. My name is Wadulo Marck Arnorld, and today is the second day of the month of April 2023. Thank you for joining us. Let's now take a look at the headlines. In our stories tonight, Operation Shuja commanders elevate progress of the war against ADF. And weather technical team to assess warning system in Butaleja. Thank you for joining us. We now give you the news in detail. Now, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has called on African nations to lead in rejecting the promotion of homosexuality on the continent, describing the vice as a big threat to and danger to the procreation of the human race. The President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni was hosting a delegation of members of parliament from over 22 African countries and the United Kingdom, who had converged in Entebbe for a two-day first ever interparliamentary conference on family values and sovereignty at State House Entebbe. Let's have a look.
President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has met with a delegation of members of parliament from over 22 African countries and the United Kingdom, who had converged in Entebbe for a two-day first ever interparliamentary conference on family values and sovereignty.
Now, the mistake of some of the Western groups, and I'm glad to see these people, wonderful people like the ones who are here, they attempt to if there is a deviation from normal, if there is an abnormality, how would you seek to universalize an abnormality?
The meeting was held under the theme, Protecting African Culture and Family Values.
Excellency, a person proposing that there should be same-sex marriages or same-sex sexual relationships is a person that is not just attacking the family, but a person seeking to wipe the entire humanity out of the face of this earth.
How would you seek to establish an abnormality as an alternative way of life?
The delegation was led to State House Entebbe by Sarah Opendi, the Toro woman member of parliament, chairperson of the conference and also the chairperson of the Parliamentary Forum on Family.
There is nothing, Your Excellency, as important as the family. And if the family unit is under attack, then certainly the nations may not be the nations that we all want to see.
The experts further revealed that the promotion and practice of homosexuality is a total erosion of family values and culture.
In same-sex relationships, the thing to keep in mind is that the gender ideology is inconsistent with our African tradition, it is inconsistent with our faith, and it is inconsistent with science.
Although President Museveni was glad to learn that LGBT victims could be provided with some therapy and rehabilitation, he maintained that this should not be propagated.
But then, the danger is now him trying to recruit others now. The funding, that's what we cannot tolerate. And I want to congratulate our parliament for being very, very...
We made a request that we want to come and see you. And we were requesting to see you largely for three things. Your Excellency, to see President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. You may not be appreciated much in your country, but whenever we watch you on television, you give value to our being Africans.
The president thanked Asheme Songweho, who led the delegation from Malawi to SCPAU in Brussels, for bringing to his attention articles contained in the SCPAU new draft agreement that pose a lot of challenges and threats to the sovereignty of member states and also to the values of family, religion, and traditional cultures.
It can't come into force until you, Your Excellencies, from the 79 countries from the Caribbean, from the African continent, and the Pacific continent have signed it.
President Museveni cautioned his Western critics to desist from lecturing African countries about their norms and values, thus reminding them that colonialism ended a long time ago.
The idea of the foreigners giving lectures to the Africans should stop, because they should have learned this. But also, the idea by the African that Africa is poor should also stop, because it's not.
President Museveni further explained that there will be no comprehensive sexuality education in Uganda.
A document called the International Guidelines on HIV, AIDS, and Human Rights that says that to stop AIDS, you have to legalize abortion, same-sex marriage, prostitution, and provide children with a radical form of sexuality education. These UN agencies are being now controlled by the donor countries and pushing agendas that are destroying the health and innocence of children and families worldwide.
With the bill on its way from Parliament to State House, President Museveni says he will pay close attention to it before assenting.
So therefore, I want to salute the Ugandan Parliament. They didn't come to discuss with me. We didn't discuss it before. They started on their own. Private members' motion. It's now that I'm coming in. But it's good that you have taken an independent stand. And we have always taken an independent stand. Not only on this issue, but also on other issues. And now, the bill is coming to me. I haven't seen it yet. But when it comes, I will call you, and we shall harmonize and protect our children. There will be no promotion of homosexuality in Uganda.
The visiting members of Parliament extended a vote of thanks to the Ugandan community and to the President as well. Other African countries which are following suit in criminalizing LGBT are Kenya, Ghana, Malawi, among others. Robert Nyango, UBC News.
The Mountain Division and Operation Shuja Commander Major General Dick Olum has met with his counterpart Major General Kasongo Robert, the father Commander Sector 1 Greater Beni, and held a joint evaluation meeting to review the progress of the joint UPDF-FADC Operation Shuja. The operation evaluation meeting was held at Okapi Hotel in Beni Territory in the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo.
The meeting, composed of general officers and senior officers from UPDF, FRDC and enablers, assessed the tactical, operational and strategic progress of the ongoing UPDF-FRDC joint operation in Eastern DR Congo.
Here today we've met for the last 2 days with the sector commander of the FRDC from Ituri and the sector commander of the FRDC in the North Kivu, situated in Beni, to look at the ongoing operations and to see how we can evaluate and come out with better options.
The two-day evaluation meeting produced a report that was adopted and signed by 3 commanders: Major General Dick Olum, Operation Shuja Commander, on behalf of the UPDF, Major General Kasongo Robert, the Commander Sector 1, Greater Beni, and Major General Abdallah Jembo, Sector Commander Ituri, signed on behalf of FRDC.
Nous avons tenu une réunion de révision des opérations conjointes.
Kulikuwa na kikao hapa kwa kuweza kuchunguza mambo ya operesheni, vile vile kuandaa kikao kitakaofuata kuhusu evaluation hapa mjini Beni. Ya ops conjoint.
Et sur ces, les opérations se poursuivent normalement entre les forces
This meeting today is an evaluation or an assessment meeting to ensure we prepare for the forthcoming meeting of the Chiefs of Defense Forces of the FRDC and the UPDF here in Beni.
Major General Kasongo Robert praised President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni for his visionary leadership and pacifying the Eastern DRC.
Normalement, entre les forces de la République démocratique du Congo et les forces de défense de l'Ouganda.
To thank the presidents of the two countries, His Excellency Fatshi, Honorable Felix Tshisekedi Tshilombo, and His Excellency President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, through our Chiefs of Defense Forces who have made this mission possible.
UPDF and FRDC command main focus is peace and socio-economic development of the two neighboring states.
Et nous continuerons à traquer les ADF jusque dans leur dernier retranchement. Merci.
Na tutaendelea kumsaka huyu adui ADF hadi sehemu yake ya mwisho ya maficho.
And the joint forces of FRDC and UPDF have done a great job. The roads are now clear from Kasindi to Beni, and we are so sure from Burasi to Boga Kainama up to Erengeti soon will be as clear as this other part of Beni, Kasindi.
Uganda and DR Congo signed a memorandum of understanding in November 2021 to conduct a joint military operation codenamed Operation Shuja against the ADF in Eastern DR Congo following escalated suicide attacks by the ADF rebels in both countries. Haruna Mtesasila reporting for UBC News in Beni City, Eastern DR Congo.
Government is scheduled to assess the extent of damage caused on the early disaster warning installation in the Eastern District of Butaleja. This follows reports of vandalism of the system meant to warn people to keep away from disaster occurrences, an act attributed to locals in the area. Now, the Minister for Relief, Disaster Preparedness and Refugees, Engineer Hilary Onek, blames the act on greed, lack of consciousness and awareness. Let's have a look.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker.
It is a matter that came to the attention of the Ugandan Parliament on Thursday. The report on the situation of disaster management in the country was being presented.
Early warning systems, messages, assessments, community preparedness plans are some of the activities undertaken by to build community resilience.
The 6-page document highlighted government's plan of action on disaster risk reduction and management. MPs from disaster-prone areas expressed divergent views.
The ministry seems not to be having money, and yet Section 26, subsection 1 of the Public Finance Management Act provides for provision of contingencies fund.
Also of concern was the destruction of the disaster early warning system in Butaleja district.
It's supposed to make noise the moment the water is rising, but the people of Butaleja demolished.
The system installed about 10 years ago was meant to monitor water levels and trigger an alarm, alerting the population on disasters.
And that alarm will sound and go over 10 kilometers away from that point, covering the areas where the flood normally occurs, to alert the population to get out of the floodway, to save their lives and so forth, to protect the population there.
The destruction of the installation is an unfortunate incident, which Disaster Minister Engineer Hilary Onek blames on greed and lack of consciousness.
Greed is because of lack of consciousness in our population, and in most cases, especially greed, which is affecting our lives. People go over greedy and tamper with systems that should be able to save their lives.
This is why a team of experts from the Ministry of Disaster is said to be dispatched to ascertain the situation and create more awareness.
When that system was installed, we had left it in the hands of the district administration there. Then we necessitated us now to send the technical people to go to the district and find out what really had gone wrong there, in order for, if need arises, we restore again that system to help, particularly now during this rainy season. We fear that that alarm, it doesn't go off and the water continues heavy as it has been, it may affect the population downstream of that river in Kayanja.
These concerns come in the wake of a seasonal weather forecast released by Uganda National Meteorological Authority, showing increased rainfall in the months of March, April and May in most parts. This could come with disastrous effects which need to be acted upon. Henry Okrut, UBC.
The Minister of State for Gender and Culture, Peace Mutuzo, has lashed out at foreign countries threatening to withdraw aid from Uganda after Parliament passed the anti-homosexuality bill. Now, this was at the award ceremony for Ugandan and Nigerian painters organized by the Nigerian Embassy at the Nomo Gallery, Nakasero, Kampala.
Promoting of creative innovations among painters has gained momentum after awarding of Uganda and Nigeria artists
that applied from Nigeria. They're not in the country.
The ceremony was attended by ambassadors with the aim of strengthening and promoting cultural ties between the two countries. The Minister of State for Gender and Culture, Peace Mutuzo, lauded the Nigerian embassy for sponsoring the initiative and urged the artists not to raise the price for their paintings so that they can get market for their pieces.
Even without saying a word, your pictures say lots of stories. You give a visual picture about what you think about Nigeria, and another one comes from Uganda. You need to know the products we make, how we market them. We make very beautiful products. If you went in there, you would want to carry a piece of art. But if they ask price, somebody will tell you $1.5 million. And some of them 3-4 million shillings, isn't it? So it will not connect with somebody's pocket.
Mutuzo has called on foreign countries to stop threatening withdrawal of aid to Uganda for opposing homosexuality.
You can see some people trying to come up with a lot of energy and force to deconstruct and deny us our rights as Africans, deny us our confidence and values, and try to transform us into them. It is very difficult to take us back because of the ideology of having one wife, one man, was confusing, especially to the feminine fraternity. So we embraced it. But this new development, I don't think it has any space in Uganda. I don't find it space. And the young people should be the first people to shun it.
The Nigerian ambassador to Uganda, Ismail Ayobami Alatise, said this event is to strengthen cultural relations across the African continent, and he urged the losers not to despair.
It's part of our efforts to promote cultural relations between our two countries, that is Nigeria and Uganda. The High Commission considered it worthwhile to organize this arts competition, cum exhibition, in collaboration with the Ugandan National Cultural Center.
The President Ugandan National Cultural Center, Peter Ojed, said painting is known for the failures in life.
The Ugandan artists, it is their impression of Nigeria. How they look at Nigeria, how they think about Nigeria, even if they have not been there. And for the Nigerians, even though they were here or not here, they also to draw their impression of Uganda, how they look at Uganda in their minds, and they put it into drawing.
I'm Ivan Juko for UBC.
The East African Civil Aviation Academy, also known as Soroti Flying School, has held its second graduation ceremony since 1971. The ceremony was presided over by the Works and Transport Minister, General Katumba Wamala, and Katumba challenged local leaders of TESO to help government in recovering all grabbed property belonging to the Civil Aviation School. Let's have a look.
The graduates were 57 in number. They were awarded with diplomas in piloting, aircraft maintenance engineering, as well as flight operations. The director of the aviation school, Lieutenant Colonel Ronald Turiamubona, said it's the second formal graduation ceremony to be held in the institution 52 years later.
There is need for the academy to be managed as a training institution outside the traditional civil service to conform to the International Civil Aviation Organization requirements. Difficulty in attracting and retaining the competent and professional workforce. Whereas the salaries of these pilots and engineers were enhanced following His Excellency the President's directive, the enhanced pay is still far below the market rate for the aviation professionals.
It has already been mentioned, we are graduating pilots, flight operations, and engineers. May I take this opportunity to congratulate you, the graduates, on this milestone.
Such a milestone was just enough to receive a plus from the Minister for Works and Transport, General Katumba Wamala. Katumba reveals plans by government to develop and make Soroti Civil Aviation School Ugandan-owned. He also called on leaders in Soroti to advocate for the return of grabbed property belonging to the East African Aviation School. Meanwhile, graduates were overwhelmed by joy, being the second batch of graduates since 1977.
It takes patience to mold a pilot, an engineer, a flight operator out of an ordinary person. We are very grateful and proud of you, our instructors. You make us Ugandans who are professionals.
It's a blessing from God, and I thank God for this opportunity to be a pilot, professional pilot, and an instructor. I think the field is waiting for us.
Some of the great achievements we want to celebrate, and it's been a long journey, but we want to thank God that we are done, and thank you very much.
The graduating group joined the school in 2019. Henry Okrut, UBC.
Hundreds of students and teachers of French have gathered at Lubiri High School in Kampala to celebrate the International Francophone Day. UBC TV News brings you some of those highlights.
French language fans, mainly schools that teach French, have commemorated International Francophone Day during an event held at Lubiri High School.
Aujourd'hui est mon meilleur jour. My name is Nagaye Machilet, and this is my best day, parce que c'est francophonie, because it's a Francophonie Day. We are celebrating Francophonie, French culture in the whole world internationally.
On this day we celebrate, we don't necessarily celebrate French as a language, but we also celebrate diversity, cultural diversity, meaning when you learn a language, we don't only say that we are learning French because we also speak our other local tongues, local mother tongues, and they are very important.
The event saw schools reciting poems, amiable songs, frenzied dance strokes and drama in French language to celebrate the day.
Ici en Ouganda, notre terre, en Afrique.
La francophonie,
I've been singing j'adore la musique de français tout le temps, j'adore la langue française tout le temps. This is like I love French music and I love the French language. I love the Francophone Day.
This day connects different schools that teach French and students to interact and share skills, opportunities, cultural ethos and diversity.
Some of those presentations we didn't even know that some of them existed, but now we can also, the way we have seen, we can also develop that skill in us for us to also practice and also become even do better than that.
So we bring these students to pick a leaf from other students who speak French or who use the French language to communicate. So when we bring them and interact together, it means we are encouraging them to take the language further.
The president of Teachers of French in Uganda, Dr. Agatha Tumwine, highlighted some of the chances and trials faced by French language teachers.
So even those who are teaching in government schools, most of them are not on government payroll, they survive on PTA. So you find that the Ugandans, if there are no intentional efforts from the government to recruit teachers on payroll, the Ugandan future generation may miss out on the opportunities of being multilingual. So this is a call to the government, so that at least if they can, every time they are recruiting, if we can have some few teachers recruited, finally countrywide you can have all the schools having French as a language.
However, learning languages comes with very many advantages, because just a language alone, our motto is apprenez une langue, découvrir le monde. Learn a language, discover the world. As they learn a language, they move to other schools, they are discovering the world of the others as they are still young.
Of course, there are so many reasons why Ugandan students should embrace French, and also parents out there who have children going to schools that teach French, they should be open-minded, because at times we look at foreign languages as not being so valuable, but at the end of the day you have people reaching certain years of their career lives, and then they are challenged with having to learn a foreign language as adults.
Sada Mubale, UBC News, Kampala.
Merci beaucoup. Autism is a neurological condition mainly common in infants but hard to detect, especially during earlier stages, and the condition that mainly presents signs like compulsive behavior, repetitive movement, has been often confused to be either epilepsy or witchcraft. During the World Autism Awareness Day celebrations held in Kampala, a call for increased awareness on autism and fight against stigma has been echoed.
Autism is a permanent neurological condition that generally appears mainly during infancy period. The condition that develops in the early age of life presents signs like inappropriate social interaction, poor eye contact, compulsive behavior, repetitive movements, and persistent repetition of words or actions.
Because even the research is still, what causes it? Is it genetic? Is it, so there is no definite cause of autism, because some people are even diagnosed as 30-year-olds.
Although autism is a disorder, sometimes it's taken to be witchcraft or epilepsy because of the limited awareness and information created on autism.
Lack of support, mainly because maybe the awareness is still minimal. And that is the reason why we are coming out here, to create awareness so that people can really understand this condition and come out to support.
This partly contributes to the high number of children losing their lives innocently to autism due to lack of awareness on the disorder.
Some of our persons with autism are leaving us just because their condition is not well managed.
Different organizations supporting people with autism have called for a unanimous voice to support people with autism, as well as create awareness on the condition.
And we want everyone to know that this is something that can happen to you or your child or your friend. So we need to be part of the awareness raising in the communities. And to us as NUDIPO, we feel that management of autism is where the gap is, and we want government to come out strongly in the area of education. So we want the special needs department to think reflectively about persons with autism.
They have tasked the government to have a clear database of people with autism and enhance the health centers with necessary human resource. According to Dr. Prosena Kanwaji, little information is available on autism, yet the number of people with the condition is growing. This is coupled with stigma to families and people living with the condition.
In Uganda, the Uganda National Demographic Census of 2014 estimated that 70 out of 10,000 persons in Uganda are actually living with autism. Not very different from the Uganda Bureau of Statistics that estimated that 88 persons in Uganda out of 10,000 are actually living with autism. But I must say that the research in this country is minimal, so the numbers may not reflect what is on ground.
The 2023 World Autism Awareness Day has been commemorated under the theme Contribution of Autistic People at Home, at Work in the arts and policy making. Susan Naung and Andrew Sebira reporting for ABC TV.
Friends and relatives have this Sunday held a funeral service for Dennis Blair Kalanzi, who died at Mulago Hospital this weekend on Saturday. Prayers for the scribe who worked with Uganda Broadcasting Corporation and the Presidential Press Unit have been held in his home area. He was born on 8th December 1985 in Namayumba, Wakiso district, and died at Mulago Hospital on the 1st of April 2023. Dennis Blair Kalanzi was famous for the Presidential Press Unit program Agafa Mbuga.
UBC mwebale nnyo okuuma muganda wammwe ate bagenda okuganzikako ekimuli nga basiibula munnaabwe omukama amukuweere ekiwumulo ekyeneredde. Mwebale nnyo UBC News staff. Kale tugenda okusembyayo
amusaasire olaba nga waliwo ebitatambudde bulungi mu bulamu bw'ensi, amusonyiwe, amuwe okwetaba mu ndagaano ye wamu n'abatuukirivu ey'obulamu obw'olubeerera. Naffe Mukama tumusaba enneema nga tulabaka mu nsi muno atulungamye, bingi ebyokwesittalako naye tumusaba okuyamba.
Bambi nabo munyolwa okwekitala ennyo, maziga nabo bwe batyo bambi basiibula omwagalwa waabwe, bw'atyo ng'agenda ewa Katonda we. Omukama amuweere ekiwumulo ekyeddemidde. Tusigazaayo
tutandika okunoonya ebisumuluzo eby'emmotoka eyiye, ebyo byonna ebitubula. Kyeva nziruka ng'endedde ky'emmotoka eyange muteekemu, ne tumuddusa mu ddwaliro mangu awo, ne tumutwala mu ddwaliro ku St. Joseph for treatment. Naye ng'embeera ye yali teyeeyagaza, nga kwegamba talina maanyi, talina muntu gw'ayinza kutegeera okuggyako ebintu ebitonotono. Kwegamba ebyangu byasobola okulaba, naye nga tusobola kubuuza kintu mirundi ebiri n'akikuddamu. Bwe twamutwala ku St. Joseph ne tumuhandika over mu basawo.
Kituufu oluusi wano abadde tajja mu church olw'emirimu gye yemanyi kisobola okuba nga tubadde kimutwala mu meeri, era nga ffe abakristu sapule abakristu wakabondo ako ne banne abakyala buli mwezi gwa sapule babadde babeerayo era nga baaniriza, era babadde baŋŋambyeko nti yali abasabye kyayagala ekitambiro kya mukisa mu makange, abadde akiteekateeka ate bino webijjidde. Yabadde ansanga nagamba taata faaza, nga ne bwaba agenda kusimbula bwati emmotoka ye nannengera, asooka n'avaamu najja bisawakugeeku nanga taata faaza ankulamusizza, n'addayo mu mmotoka ye akolaki n'agenda nange nempitawo kubanga nze mbadde neyibawo ekyemmangako.
Bakiteekamu Yuda akasolooza Drakma wazinda b'enkumi enzi aziweereza e Yerusaalemi okusaba ekigambo okugambiza bali balinga bantu ng'abakkiriza ebaddolo nga bafuba yabadde faaza oli simu lya kompyuta ye anti bwe muyingira mu ttale byonna bisuubira buli omu akwasibwe kuba era abasajja mba n'ensiri bangerera mu budde mu biyumba ngenda mu kiyumba kyo.
Ugandans have been advised to utilize capital within their means to start their businesses rather than waiting for aid. This was in a sermon delivered by Pastor Kayanja at Tanda Grounds, Chituburu, Bunono in Wakiso district.
The Patron Miracle Center Church aboard a chartered jet touched base at Tanda Grounds, Chituburu, where believers treated him to a cordial welcome. He later inspected the road site for the construction of an avenue for Ebenezer Miracle Center Church, as it marked 25 years of existence before meeting pastors in Entebbe. Ebenezer. Pastor Kayanja led a gospel crusade at Tanda Chitubulu grounds, attended by persons from different walks of life. Authority over every power. Kayanja urged the residents to use the little they have to start their own businesses instead of waiting for support.
Teaching them not to wait to be given, but generate your own capital and start things that you can start to help the people around you. Because this is what we do, you know. We are building churches, we are establishing things, and we are grateful. So that's our message, that please start generating your own capital in order to fix the needs that you may have.
Kayanja said the global foundations and norms of governance have changed a lot, urging people to work hard to cope with the changing environment.
That used to export food and now are in demand of food. Nations that used to be peaceful. The war between Russia and Ukraine, it has shifted a lot of foundations. You see, nations are not strong enough to say this and that. So even here in this country, our population is growing, our region is finding hard to find food. In Kenya, people are demonstrating, not because of anything, but because of food prices. And here we are in Uganda with beautiful weather, beautiful country, beautiful peace. We need to plant this season. We need to plant. If we plant on top of trees, let be it. But we need to plant.
The head Ebenezer Miracle Center Chitubulu, Pastor Josiah Mubiru, said a lot has changed in the area that previously resisted the word of Christ as the church celebrates 25 years.
9 people. God sent us in this village. It is a slum of Entebbe called Chitubulu, with a message to make disciples and to teach the word of God. And we came to a place where thugs, where drug addicts live. Chitubulu is known to everyone. It is a black spot, that it is a no-go area. But when God says, He looks upon His word to fulfill. When we came here, we were young, we were poor, and we had nothing but God. Since that time, God has fought our battles and you have won.
Ivan Juko, UBC.
This year's annual Men Gather Conference was held at Kololo Independence Grounds, Kampala. The conference, which was hosted by Apostle Grace Lubega, the founder of Phaneru Ministries International, highlighted a variety of social aspects ranging from relationships, marriage, drug addiction, and financial literacy.
Men from all walks of life converged at Kololo Independence Grounds in Kampala for the annual men's conference dubbed Men's Gather. The event, which started in the morning, was organized by Phaneru Ministries International and comprised of debates on a range of topics, including family, relationships, finance, and mentorship.
Whenever you say, I'm not interested after you've taken someone for 5 cups of coffee, then it will be like a breakup when really there wasn't a beginning. So,
sit down and you do the costing. You've got to envision what you want, and then you start admiring from a distance, and maybe you start saying, maybe this girl, maybe, and then you, by the time you actually invite this particular girl out, you already know your own feelings.
The founder of Phaneru Ministries International, Apostle Grace Lubega, officiated the event. He engaged fellow pastors and experts in other fields, educating men against the background that most of the programs neglect boys' needs who are lagging behind.
And it's 93% of the people in prison across the world are men. Yet we all know that we have more women in population in the world than men are. The most dysfunctional people we know in the world are men, and some of which has its root and foundation from the fact, or painful fact, that either we were not fathered right, we were not told right, society has not favored us right.
The panelists also hinted at alcohol and drug addiction, a vice that is silently wrecking lives of youth. Parents were encouraged to have conversations with their families to sort out any irregularities, as well as teach their children how to overcome real-life challenges.
The other one is find help, because habits are very difficult to break. Find someone you trust. We are men. Find another man and say, this is what I'm going through.
Us coming here, it is a very, very good lesson for us to acquire knowledge, to listen to men who have been there, men who have been through different experiences. It is a pleasure being here.
There's a lot to learn as a man, the responsibilities we have to this nation, to our families, starting from the smallest units we have.
So it is, we have come here today to sharpen ourselves, to be taught, to man up, stand up and man up.
Various factors are attributed to children living along city streets in ghetto suburbs, like poverty, domestic violence, and other circumstances like drug abuse. This was what prompted National Children's Authority to visit different schools. To visit different schools in Chigezi sub-region, sensitizing them about their rights and instilling in them the idea of appreciating education.
Domestic violence is reportedly becoming rampant in Chigezi sub-region, and this has led to many children dropping out of school. The Executive Director, National Children's Authority, Martin Kiza, has been on a working visit to schools like Rubira Primary School, Chigata High School, Chanamira Primary School, guiding students to appreciate education and knowing their rights as children.
Nicho tujokubagamira nkaba National Children's Authority. Mweno bugabe mubukozese kulungi. Child rights, survival, amagara, to protection okwelinda, to participation nka clubs ezo mwekole mu mulimo mugambire na teachers.
Kiza asked communities to embrace and support the homosexualism bill.
Value your bodies. Why do I say this? There is a problem that we have, and he has said it rightly, that homosexuality has penetrated our communities. The moment you engage in homosexuality, you are gone. But the message is that we are calling upon the communities, especially in schools, pupils, the students, to embrace and support the anti-homosexual bill.
He also advised schools in Chigezi to create school rights clubs to aid students express their issues.
Participation. Do you have child rights clubs in the secondary school? Clubs. So if you can come up with clubs, mukekora mumulimo mukize mukazo wa teacher ninga wa reverend mutwatino club iyo kuleba ngu twagumanite turerundana nk'abana.
He warned schools against the use of corporal punishment.
Is there a limit about the kinds that we are supposed to be caned by our teachers?
You find like the whole administration is supporting the torture that they give us.
So corporal punishment is not allowed in schools. Like corporal punishment. Huh? We have alternative measures to corporal punishment. Counsel them, talk to them.
National Children's Authority spent more than 3 years giving students reading materials on child protection and is targeting 25,000 school rights clubs. The main objective of the club is to ensure children participate and protect themselves from violence and abuse in and around schools.
We'll now take a short commercial break, and when we return, we'll be back with business, so do stay tuned.
Talk with freedom. Get MTN Freedom Voice Bundles that don't expire. Dial *100 *21# or my MTN app for more bundles. Together, we're unstoppable.
The Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development, under the auspices of the East African Community, will host the 10th East African Petroleum Conference and Exhibition 2023 from the 9th to the 11th of May 2023 at the Kampala Serena Hotel in Uganda. Take full advantage of the investment opportunities in the East African region's vibrant oil and gas sector. To find out more on how to sponsor, exhibit, or attend the 10th EAPCE 23, visit www.eapce23.eac.int.
Iwakato, this is a quick call. I'm almost out of minutes. Now, the center.
Why rush through such important conversations? Airtel Uganda has made it possible for you to call across all networks in Uganda at the best rates with the new Bona voice bundles. Stay connected anytime, anywhere, with minutes valid for calls on all networks. Dial *100*1#. Select voice bundles and select Bona voice bundles today. Airtel, the smartphone network.
This isn't just a girl. She is the future. This is a teacher, a doctor, a community leader, our future president.
This is our family's pride.
This is my friend.
This is the future of our nation.
She is the future of Uganda, and the policies I enact today will protect her from teenage pregnancy.
She is the hope of our community, and I will talk to others about how we must protect her.
She is our family's pride, and I will protect her from child marriage and talk to her about the dangers of teenage pregnancy. We each have a role to play in empowering our teenage girls to protect them from child marriage and pregnancy, because when we empower them, we empower our nation. Protect the girl, save the nation.
Their support meant so much to me. I stayed focused and was protected from child marriage and teenage pregnancy. I will support other girls against child marriage and teenage pregnancy.
Take action. Report any case of defilement or child marriage to the police or call Sawuti 116.
TB kills approximately 30 people daily, and 247 Ugandans fall ill of TB disease every day. TB has killed dreams and families. We all deserve a chance in life to hustle, smile. We all deserve a chance to dream and be the best version of ourselves. It is preventable and curable. Know your status. TB testing, treatment, and all TB-related services are free in all government hospitals and accredited private health centers.
Are you tired of high fees and slow transfer time when sending money? Look no further. Airtel Money is here to revolutionize the way you move your money. We have revised our rates, and now sending money from Airtel to other networks in Uganda, East Africa, and to the rest of the world has never been more affordable. Plus, you can trust Airtel Money to get your money where it needs to go quickly and safely. Simply dial *185# and start sending money. Switch to Airtel Money today and experience unbeatable rates and top-notch services for all your local and international money transfer needs. Airtel Money. Instant, secure, borderless.
Welcome back. You're still watching the UBC News Tonight. We now bring you into the news of business. Over 1,000 farmers from 140 districts across the country have benefited in the Farmer Field Schools program under the micro-scale irrigation project to overcome challenges affecting the agricultural sector in regards to climate change. Now, this program was introduced to the farmers by government through the Ministry of Agriculture, Animal Husbandry and Fisheries in 2021 and is aimed at training farmers, extension workers in mindset change to improve livelihoods of the beneficiaries.
The Acting Director, Crop Resource at the Ministry of Agriculture, Animal Husbandry and Fisheries, Biantwale Stephen, has said that government is committed to supporting farmers overcome challenges facing them, including climate change.
Guided that one, we must look at issues of enterprise selection. And His Excellency the President has been clear, ladies and gentlemen. So as we look at enterprise selection and implement our parish development model, there are other areas government advises that we stress and provide support.
Biantwale says the micro-scale irrigation program has benefited over 1,000 farmers countrywide, and government injected 96 billion shillings into the program implementation. He was officiating the closing of a 5-day training for extension workers from 40 districts across the country at the National Farmers Leadership Center, Kampiringisa in PG District. The representative from the Ministry of Finance and Planning, Kitio Collins, says the ministry has secured over $500 million from the International Development Association towards the implementation of the agreed sectors of education, health, agriculture and water associated with the implementation of the micro-scale irrigation program.
A program loses its national character. As such, we propose that Ministry of Agriculture undertake studies on other crops for potential rescoping, and we hope, in case this cannot be undertaken in the immediate term, then we should focus on having it accommodated within the medium term.
The Principal National Farmers Leadership Center, Kampiringisa, Ukwaja John Bosco, commended government for emphasizing training of extension workers.
And we want to urge our trainees, the extension workers and the engineers, that please, everything is possible. When you go back home, please try to implement what you've learned here. And yesterday we went ahead.
Yes, we can. 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 Minister of Agriculture, yes, we can. Yes.
Financial Intelligence Authority has partnered with the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime East Africa to ensure that the nation's financial institutions are prepared to comply with anti-money laundering regulations and detect suspicious transactions. This initiative gathered management and staff members from financial institutions across the country for a comprehensive anti-money laundering compliance training program. It's gained knowledge and skills to keep up with the most recent anti-money laundering regulations, like the e-registration process, which was launched late last year, and the best practices to identify and report suspicious transactions.
What we have seen, or what we're discovering now in the trainings, is that there is that gap of knowledge. So FIA has come out now in partnership with UNODC to roll out a program of training accountable persons, getting them to know their obligations, and once that is understood, then if they do not comply, applicable penalties will apply.
The training program covered a variety of topics, including customer due diligence, risk assessment, and regulatory compliance. Participants also learned about the importance of collaboration among financial institutions, law enforcement agencies in identifying and combating financial crimes.
Of course, we understand that recently Uganda was placed on the grey list, but Uganda is also making very promising and interactive sessions with colleagues in the Financial Action Task Force and other regulatory bodies to ensure that we remedy some of the areas that have been listed in terms of us to comply with international standards.
Under the Anti-Money Laundering Act, financial institutions, designated non-financial businesses, and professions and other entities are required to implement anti-money laundering and counter-terrorism financing measures.
We share information in that way so that we keep our compliance a clear line of understanding, especially to our clients and to ourselves also.
Overall, the Anti-Money Laundering Act aims to prevent Uganda from being used as a hub for money laundering and terrorism financing activities and to promote a safe and stable financial system in the country. Wadulo Marck Arnorld, UBC News, in Kampala. Furthermore, the Minister of Microfinance, Haruna Chayuneka Solo, has said that, the Minister of Finance, Planning and Economic Development, Matia Kasaija, has launched a 1 billion parish revolving fund under the parish development model in Chibale district. Speaking during the launch at Chibale district headquarters, Minister Kasaija says that the parish development model funds are not a grant or donation from government, but a revolving fund to benefit many individuals at parish level.
Of supporting health in Uganda. This year, the Kabaka Birthday Run will mark its 10-year anniversary on Sunday, 16th April at Lubidi, starting 7 a.m. and continue the fight to end AIDS by 2030. Buy your running kit today at 20,000 shillings from Airtel shops, Benchwanuka, Fubani, New Taxi Pack, or Majestic Brands office in Bulange Mengo. You can also pay using Airtel Money. Dial *185 *5#. Kits purchased using Airtel Money shall be picked from Airtel Wampe or Shop. Probably sponsored by Are you tired of high fees and slow transfer time when sending money? Look no further. Airtel Money is here to revolutionize the way you move your money. We have revised our rates, and now sending money from Airtel to other networks in Uganda, East Africa, and to the rest of the world has never been more affordable. Plus, you can trust Airtel Money to get your money where it needs to go quickly and safely. Simply dial *185# and start sending money. Switch to Airtel Money today and experience unbeatable rates and top-notch services for all your local and international money transfer needs. Airtel Money, instant, secure, borderless.
Welcome back. It's now time for sports news. The Memorandum of Understanding between Uganda Olympic Committee, Kayanja International School has started bearing fruit. This is after hosting of the successful Olympic values debate that attracted close to 40 institutions. Let's have a look.
The committee and Kayanja International School in Buziga signed a memorandum of understanding aimed at working out a relationship to disseminate Olympism and its values, especially to the youth. The Memorandum of Understanding allows Uganda Olympic Committee to access Kayanja International School for activities like for this Olympic values debate that attracted more than 40 schools.
So I'd like to first thank all the head teachers who allowed all their young students to come and participate in this very important initiative. We thank the management of Kayanja, and we'd like to encourage all those out there that sport is a transformative activity. We'd like you, not only academics are important, but we have the data to show that those students who engage in sports, sport activities and academics are doing well, and you build a holistic individual who is able to learn life skills that sports, for example, does in terms of discipline, friendship, excellence, and respect. So we believe that these values are lifelong skills, and sport can play that transformative role. We've had all these young people from different backgrounds, different schools. They were not, by the way, engaging in school teams, but rather in thematic colors.
The debate aimed at instilling the core Olympic values of respect, excellence, and friendship to the youth and for them to incorporate them into their daily lives for better growth.
They've been able to engage, and we believe that through this kind of outreach, we're able to promote Olympism and people to get to know what we do in Olympics, but also the values of promoting friendship through the different people who are here, promoting respect for each other through the debates, those who lost graciously, those who won were celebrated, and also excellence, committing themselves to a higher value of excellence. Those who did well have been rewarded. We hope the two best young participants will go to Greece to represent Uganda in the young participants session in Greece, which is the home of the Asian Olympics. So overall, we are very happy with our partnership with the Kayanja International School.
This Olympic Values Debate annually picks two of the best and advances them for further studies, with Greece the next destination for the youngsters.
This has been a great eye-opener for us as a school, giving opportunity to other schools. As the host, it's been a special moment for us. People come from Gulu, Mbarara, from Tororo. So it's been a very good experience for us, and young people getting exposed to these international facilities. We think joining the Uganda Olympic Committee has been something good to work and develop Olympism in Uganda. So
John Barnes, Sentinel, UBC News.
And that brings us to the end of our 8 o'clock edition, this second day of April 2023. Join us later on at 10 p.m. for another bulletin. My name is Wadulo Marck Arnorld. See you at 10.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Youth of Purpose.
Hello, welcome to Youth of Purpose, a show that is here to inspire you as a young person and also as a Ugandan. Now today, we are talking green. Like you can see my background, everything here is green. We are going to be talking about protecting Uganda's environment by going green. Welcome to Youth of Purpose. How are you?
I am fine.
What's your name?
My name's Ahereza Jonathan.
Okay.
And I am in Form 2 at Seta High School.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm a member of the Green Ambassadors. And here, today what we have is this garden. And this garden is basically to teach us as people who live in towns mostly, teach us how we can grow plants that will be able to provide food for our families, because during this COVID it's been hard to get food. Some food prices have been heightened. So when you learn how to or understand how to make this, it will be much easier for you to get food at home.
Okay. What is your inspiration of putting up this kind of a garden?
Our inspiration was looking at people who have been crying about them not having food at home, or them having big families and they're not able to provide.
Most especially in urban centers.
Exactly, because they're in town. And most people will tell you, I can't plant